Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to this session as part of the Graduate Career Skill Week. We're really excited to have you here talking about using Exponent for technical interview prep. So in the next half hour or so, I'm going to go over different types of interviews that you might encounter and how Exponent might be particularly helpful in preparing you for one of those types of interviews. We'll go in depth of two of what I think are the most helpful tabs on Exponent, and I'll show you some other features there as well. So here is just an overview of different types of interviews that you might encounter in an internship or job search. You might not get all of these interview requests. You might get one or two, maybe not all three. Different companies have different interview preferences, but I just wanted to go over kind of three basic interview types, and they're not in any order either. So just because behavioral is listed first doesn't mean that that is going to necessarily be the first interview that you encounter in your job search. But a behavioral interview is probably what most people think of when they think of an interview, right? It's more general questions about yourself, why you're interested in that role, why you're interested in the company, and examples of your behavior in different situations. So when you hear questions like, tell me about a time when you took initiative, or tell me about a time that you felt challenged by something and how did you overcome that challenge? Those are behavioral interview questions. So that's one main type of interview. A second is the case interview, which is a question or a scenario that's a bit ambiguous, right? There might not be one right answer, or you might not necessarily be given all of the information in the scenario to come up with one answer. But this task is designed to see how you handle tasks like that, right? Even in a work setting, you might not always have all of the information that you need to solve a problem, and interviewers are really interested in seeing how you react in those situations. And then a final type of interview is the technical interview, which is what we're really going to be talking about here today. And this can either be through an asynchronous assessment, right? You might get a link to complete an assessment online, or it might be a live session with an interviewer. Either format is designed to show off your technical skills, your capabilities, your command of different programs and softwares. But this is just, again, a general overview of three types of interviews that you might encounter. Now, Jamie, myself, and any of the other advisors on the career services team can help you by doing mock behavioral interviews or mock case interviews. You can schedule those in Handshake. But for technical interviews, we really want to stress the importance of using this platform, Exponent, to prepare for those. And hopefully after today's presentation, you feel confident in using Exponent to prepare for those types of assessments. So what is Exponent? It is a learning platform that you can access through the Penn Career Services website that gives you tips, guides, video explanations for different questions and tasks that you might encounter in technical interviews. And most of the information is provided by employees from big tech firms. So thinking Facebook, Google, Uber, Netflix, right? So you're getting really expert advice here, and it's accessible 24/7. So if you're not able to kind of schedule some time to chat with a career advisor, in our normal 9 to 5, you can always check out Exponent anytime that works for you. And how do you find it? Well, you go to our website, you can Google Penn Career Services, or you can go directly there. The URL is careerservices.upenn.edu. And probably the fastest way to locate Exponent is by just going to the search bar in the top right and typing it in. Once you type in Exponent, you'll be taken to our Exponent resource page, which tells you just a little overview of what it is. And when you click on View Resource, you'll be taken directly to Exponent, where you'll be able to set up a profile using your Penn credentials. And once you do that, your page will look just like mine. So you'll see kind of this is the home base. You can see kind of what they encourage you to do right away. And we'll go through some of the other tabs at the top that are available to you. So the first tab that is particularly helpful is this courses tab. Now, this is great if you are really in the early stages of preparing for technical interviews, or you're still applying to roles and you know that these interviews will come down the pipeline, but maybe you have a bit of time to prepare. So if you hover over courses, you will see kind of the most popular ones show up first, but there is a view all option towards the bottom. And you'll see really the most popular fields that a lot of Penn students are interested in pursuing. So software engineering, program management, product design, data science, and they all have their own individual courses. But if we were to click on data science, this is what we would see. So this is the data science interview course. You can see that there are two courses, one for kind of general data science and a second one is for machine learning. And you'll see how much content is there. So it would take about 8 hours to go through all of the content here. Now, if we were to click into the data science interview course, this is the screen that we would see. So all of the content is here on the left-hand side. And you see all of the different topics that are covered in the course on the right-hand side. And again, this information is created to help you prepare for these data science interviews from knowledge that's coming from these big tech companies. So all of the main topics that you might expect in a technical data science interview are represented here. So if we click on one of them, for example, this one on bias variance trade-off questions, you'll see a little bit of a description of what you might expect in this area. And then a little bit of an exercise as well. So if you're struggling with answering this question, you can view some hints. If you want to feel a little bit more challenged, there's some challenge options, and then the full solution here as well. And each of these topics is formatted in a slightly different way. So this is one example of a question, and there are kind of written hints, challenges, and solutions. But if we take a look at another one, for example, linear regression, which is, of course, another topic that will come up in a technical interview for data science, here's about a 23-minute video with an Amazon machine learning engineer all about linear regression. This is another type of format that you might encounter in these different course options. Another one is kind of watching a mock interview. So this is a 26-minute long video between an interviewer and an interviewee answering a common data science question. How would you improve Airbnb's recommendation algorithm to guests? So you can actually watch two people have a mock interview that is related to the actual data science questions that you might also encounter in your interviews. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the courses tab shows you kind of the most popular courses, but there was a view all option at the bottom, and this is where you'll be taken. If you select that, you'll head to the course library and you can see, again, different types of roles here at the top. So you can see the courses designed specifically for those roles. Or you can also look at some of the more popular companies. If you wanted to see all of the courses that are designed to help prepare you for Amazon interviews, you would click Amazon. And there's also a search option at the top. So really a lot of great information here that you can be using as you're preparing and starting to think about what might be asked of you in a technical interview. The other tab that I want to highlight is the practice tab. So it's next to the courses tab. And if you hover over practice, you'll see these three options: interview questions, peer-to-peer interviews, and expert coaching. Now, the first two are free for you through Penn. The last one, expert coaching, is certainly available to you if you'd like. That is something that you would have to pay for on your own. But we're going to go over how you can utilize interview questions and the peer-to-peer interview tool. So interview questions is a great place to go once you've completed the courses. You feel like you have a good sense of the different topics that might be asked of you in different types of interviews. And now you can start to think about really specific questions that might be asked by company or by role even. So you can see they have over 2,000 interview questions here. You can filter them by role, by company, by category. You can search for questions. And if you click on any individual one, for example, if you click on what's your favorite product and why, you'll see a lot of great information here. So first, there's a short video kind of explaining the question and what would go into a good answer for this question. But also on the right-hand side, you'll see what are the companies that this question tends to get asked at, right? Or where was it most recently asked at? And what are some related questions that you might also want to prepare for as you're preparing for this question? So this is what you'll see kind of right away. And then if you scroll down, you'll see there's a whole kind of like forum function at the bottom. You'll see the Exponent expert answer, so how they would recommend that you answer this question. But anyone with an Exponent account is able and encouraged to post themselves. So you'll see different members will post how they might answer the question, or if they have questions about this particular prompt. People can upvote, people can comment, people can ask other questions. This is really a great resource as you're thinking of, okay, I know the content now. I want to think about how I can best answer these questions or best complete this task. This is a great place for you to go to really crowdsource a lot of that information. The second option on that practice tab is a peer mock interview, and this is a really awesome feature. I believe that Exponent offers peer mock interviews twice a day, and I believe that they switch up the different types of interviews that they might be offering at the time. So this was just from the other evening. They were offering peer mock interviews at 9 p.m. And if you were interested in any of these options, you could select that. You would stay until the session starts. And then you would be randomly matched with somebody else who was also interested in practicing one of those interview types. And so you could use that to ask each other questions and practice that way. You could use that opportunity to chat about how you might answer certain questions or chat through some like questions or challenges that you were encountering. And again, I think this is offered twice a day, every day. So lots of chances to practice with other people who are also preparing for these technical interviews. And finally, just some other features of the Exponent platform. There are interview guides as well, kind of separate from the kind of courses and the practice tabs. For example, if you wanted to be a product manager at Amazon, you can read all about that, or a technical program manager at Facebook. Those are kind of more, again, just guides that you can read through on your own time. There's also a blog that has really kind of up-to-date information, different takes on hiring trends and preparing for interviews and kind of what the labor market looks like right now. I didn't include this one on here, but they also have a Slack channel that Exponent members are invited to join. So if you have questions that you want answered kind of in real time, you can join that and look for a community there. So a lot of really awesome features through Exponent, no matter where you kind of are in your interview prep. Maybe you're just starting out, you're trying to get a sense of what might be expected of you in these technical interviews, or maybe you've done a couple and you really want to keep practicing some more with some kind of real world questions. Lots of resources on here. This is a new resource that we just started offering. It's not new, but we've just started offering it for the first time, and we've gotten really great feedback so far. So hopefully you find it interesting and helpful as well, again, as you prepare for different types of technical interviews.